as a person who is insecure and sucks at all that, and they have a child and they recognize that I don't want to be to this person how my dad or mom or figurehead was to me. How do you start that process?
It is very, very hard to break the cycle, but anybody can. Anybody can. No matter what tools you have, anybody can break the cycle. And so I think that the very first step is to learn everything that you can about attachment. Take an online attachment course, listen to a podcast, pick up a book, and read a lot about attachment. Do a significant amount of self-reflection. Work through your own stuff. I like to tell my students that they should become a student of themselves. Become a student of yourself. Study yourself. Reflect on your own behaviors. Reflect on your own past. Think about your own triggers. Make plans. Journal. Write things down that you want to stop doing and that you don't want to do with your own kids that maybe was done with you. Write down things that your parents did that you do want to do with your own kids. Breaking the cycle is not easy. It is very difficult. I like to tell my students that we're all born and we are given a toolbox by our parents. Every single one of us is given a toolbox. Some people have like a really nice, shiny, snap-on toolbox that, one of those like $10,000 toolboxes, and it's gorgeous. And there's like locking drawers. And some people are given a rusty lunch pail style toolbox. And you don't get to choose the toolbox that you get. You don't get to choose it. But it's given to you. And throughout your life, tools are put in those toolboxes, and they're the tools that your parents used with you that likely came from their toolbox that their parents gave them. Some of these tools work really well. They work really well at getting whatever behavior the parents want, whether it's obedience or quiet or, calm. The tools work really well, but they sometimes also have like side effects, right? So they're really simple tools. A hammer is a very simple tool, but a hammer can only, really works if you're just hitting the nail. If you hit the wood next to it or you hit the wall next to it, it also puts a hole or a dent in the wall or the wood. And so while they're very easy to use, they don't require a manual. They're not always the best tool to use. Then there's also like really fancy tools that you probably learned by taking an online course or by going to college or some amazing, communication guru taught you this awesome tool. The problem with this tool is that it's usually harder to use. It takes a lot more energy. Sometimes there's a really thick manual that comes with it. You got to read the manual. You got to practice using the tool all the time. And so in the heat of the moment, when you've got to deal with something, we often reach for the easy tool. Maybe it's not the most effective, but it's the easiest. And we don't take the time to use the difficult to use but better tool. Sometimes your parents use tools with you that you hated, like you hated it. Your parents maybe used shame or blame or criticism, and you hated it, and you swear you are never going to use that tool with your own children. But the tool is still in your box, still there, whether you want it there or not. You might hate it. You might curse it. You say, I'll never do that. I will never shame my children. I will never blame them. I'll never criticize them. I'm not going to do it. But it's there. The goal is to put it in one of the drawers that locks and like put it in the back, put it in the drawer that locks, lock it up and try your hardest not to use it. But unfortunately, human development has this interesting thing about it where when we get older and life gets more stressful and life gets more difficult, sometimes if the tool is there, it doesn't matter if it's locked, it doesn't matter if you hated it, it doesn't matter if it hurt you. When we need a tool, we often take the tool and use it.